Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mohammed. This video is the second video about Aidl interface, which we are going to discuss about defining some Aidl interfaces and making some libraries out of them that will be used in some applications that I will provide as a separate video. As we discussed in the previous video, Aidl is Android interface definition language. So we will expect to have kind of interface language that help us to generate some code for some programming language like Java, Kotlin, C++, and Rust, since all of them could be used in AOSP development. So having an interface definition language will bring some limitation. One of them, or maybe one of the most important aspects, is about data types. As you might know, all the languages providing some profound and a list of different data type and classes that you can use in your application development. The problem is that the programming language don't provide the same data type. So having one data type in Java doesn't mean that C++ provides the same data type. But the IDL or AIDL will guarantee that if you define something with that in that format, the data type will be provided in all the programming languages. That's the main reason of having some restrictions. The point is, here there are some data types that we are able to use in defining an Aidl file. For instance, we have primitive types, string, list, map, parcelable, Aidl interfaces, and enumerations. Primitive types includes int, line, float, boolean, this kind of data types. We have like a bit one higher level like a string, list, and map. And parcelable structure is like exactly like a data class or data structure that we have in C++, Java, or Kotlin, that you are able to use a custom packet for yourself. If we use Aidl to define a interface or parcelable, the data that will be sent or transmit from a Java application will be received correctly in C++ and vice versa. That's the advantage of using Aidl. We have almost 4 Aidl constructs that we can use in defining an Aidl file: interface, parcelable, enum, and union. And inside of the parcelable, you are able to use the other data types like primitive types, string, and list. So that's kind of, how to say, a structure that we need to follow to define an Aidl file. It was about parcelables, but when it comes to defining an interface, other than the data types, you need to set the direction of the parameter, which could be in, out, or in, out. When it's in, it means that you are passing something. When it's out, it means that you are receiving something, and in, out means it works in both directions. That I will show you that how we can define interface and parcelable and use them in an interface. Let's look at the sample project that I have provided as a Aidl project, which it will generate an AAR file, a library that we can use in other applications. So looking at the application, you will see at the left side that there are 4 Aidl files: address, iUser interface, user, and user status. But before jumping into the Aidl files, I would like to mention that here in build.gradle file of the module, you need to set the Aidl build feature to true. After that, you will be able to create an Aidl file from the menu as a new module, which is so important for us. So you won't struggle with that. Okay, let me open the Aidl files, and we can see the content of the file and discuss about them. The first one is a user status, that you see that it's kind of enumeration, the user and the address Aidl file. And I need to open them side by side so we can have a big picture of what's going on, the relationship between them, and discuss a bit more about the details. detail. So from the left side, I will start the explanation. You will see the user status. It's an enumeration that I have defined here, which has three status. Then we have address as a parcelable, which has again 3 parameters, and the last one is the user parcelable. The user parcelable is utilizing 2 other defined parcelable in the project, which is address and user status. So I am showing here that how we can use the other new parcelable or enumerations that we have defined within the project. The only point here is that at the top of the file you can see that I have imported them, so the compiler knows that which address and user status we are pointing out and what should be used to build this package. Okay, now I'm closing them, and I will try to jump to the other points that I would like to show you in the project. Here you go. Let's look at our user interface. Here I have provided 3 methods. The first one is a get user which is getting or maybe passing an ID and will return a user structure, which we have defined this as a parcelable. The second one is update user, which will update a user structure directly. And the last one is a one-way like event, which we will discuss it later in the next video. But here I'm just trying to give you a big picture that how it looks like and how we can define the Aidl files. Later in the next video I will show how to use them in the client and server application. Just as a heads up, the Android manifest is almost empty, and just navigating to a setting Gradle file, you will see that I have only one package here or one module, which is my Aidl, which is defined there. And you can make sure in build Gradle of the module level, it's kind of a library and not making any APK here. One more thing which I would like to show you is to generating the AR file, building the project, and show that how the Java classes created out of the Aidl files looks like. Let me search the user interface here. Here you go, but I would like to start from user status. You will see that it's a simple class, but when it comes to the address, you will see that this address is kind of class implemented, which is implementing a parcelable, and it needs to override some methods. It's mandatory here. That's the same for the user, which is a type of the structure as a class, and implementing parcelable. But when it comes to the user interface, it's interface and implementing something else, which means that you need to implement and override some other methods. I recommend you to create a project for yourself and see that how it looks like, how it works. You might face some issues that I think you would be able to fix them if you check the video, and I will provide the source code of the project by releasing the next video, which is discussing how we can implement and use this Aidl interfaces in a client and server application. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.